Hello everyone, today I just wanted to make a quick video because I was thinking about it the other day and I was just thinking, what are the other magicals going to look like? And then I realised most of the magicals are based on concept art. So then I thought, why don't I just make a video where we go into what the magicals could look like, because we kind of assume what some may look like. I mean, don't get me wrong, most of the magicals look completely different to their concept art. Like if you look at the concept art that they're based off, they are completely different. So if you ask me, I don't really think we can really go off concept art as a basis for what magicals may look like, but it's definitely something that they are inspired by, so I think it's cool to look at what magicals may be inspired by. Again, for those of you who don't know, the Magical Island monsters, most of them are actually based on concept art of previous monsters. They've made that a thing, they've made that apparent, they've said that themselves, so it's clear that that is evident across the Magical Islands. Anyway, so let's delve into the first one. So this is the first one that I wanted to look at. Now, if we have a look, we have concepts here for each of the single elements. We have Toe Jammer, Mammoth, Noggin, Potbelly here, and I really just wanted to highlight Mammoth here because Mammoth actually has a shark-like one and Toe Jammer has a pink-like one. Now, the epic version of Toe Jammer was actually based on this pink design over here. Now, I think it's very unlikely we'll get a magical based on that, but what I want to highlight is the actual shark one. Now, they may choose to inspire a magical based around this design. It would be cool to see it, and we've not actually got a shark monster in game as far as I'm aware. I'm trying to think about it now. I don't think we do, and a shark monster would be cool. It's something that we're missing in game, and I think it would be something to really spice things up. Anyway, next one. So I've accidentally screenshot the time as well. Anyway, so if we have a look here, we can see different concept art for all of the quad elementals. Now, the one what I want to highlight most of all is DJs. Now, I'm not actually interested in any of the others because they are too similar to the natural monsters designs. But if we have a look at DJs down here, now I think the idea of a DJ box is super cool, and I really want to see it, to be honest. And it would be cool to have another monster that is alike to Deej in some format. I think it would just be cool to have a monster that actually has a DJ box. I know Deej has their ice cubes, but I would like to see one with an actual DJ box. I think that would be insane. Anyway, next one. Now, these two I think are highly likely candidates for Magical Islands. Now, these are concepts for Tweedle, and they look radically different. I especially like the one to the left. I don't think the right one is the one that will get added, if any get added, but they could seriously change up the design, and it is something that they could add to the game if they change it up a lot. I mean, if you ever look at Yuggler and its previous design, then you can see that they really do change the designs around quite a bit. Anyway, so if we have a look, we can see a turkey-like one on the left. I don't know. It's like an eagle, actually, isn't it, actually? Not really a turkey. And then just like a mutant to the right, really. It's got different features to it. It's got little webbed feet and little webbed hands, so it's radically different to Tweedle, definitely. Like, if you ever look at these look like completely different monsters. So I would say that these are really good candidates for what could be added to Magical Islands. And then if we go on to the next image here, we can see some concept art for the seasonals. Now, obviously, the rest of them actually do look like the actual monsters themselves, except from the one for Punkleton, which is down below, which is like a skeleton-like one. Now, I don't think they would actually do that because of Halloween, so let's just skip over that, but there's a zombie one. Now, I was thinking a zombie one would be cool if they took some inspiration from that, because we don't actually have a zombie monster, so again, that is something to look at for Big Blue Bubble. And then also for Hula, we have a purple variant of Hula. Now, we already have the rare and epic versions of Hula, and too radical of a change for any kind of variant of Hula, really, anyway. So I would say that this might be a good candidate for a magical. Anyway, next one. So we then have the concept art for the lyrics, also known as the Wordos. Now, this is a code name for the Wordos. Now, obviously, the Wordos are a very high-class species, and they are the only ones that really can talk human language in the game. Now, of course, I'm not saying take that away, but perhaps when we get Wordos on the Magical Islands themselves, if it comes to that eventually, I was thinking it would be cool to perhaps add these instead of the Wordo sort of class that we're used to, if that makes sense. I was thinking, yeah, there'll still be Wordos, but perhaps the Wordos on the Magical Islands can be inspired by the lyric. I think that would be a really cool idea. They already had something going on here as well, with them looking different for each element. I'm really glad that they stuck to the designs that we have in game and decided to put them forward. Them are definitely way better than these on screen right now, but again, again, they are really cool, and I think they're a concept to perhaps look at. Now, I'm not saying every single one across the magical island should look like this at all. I don't think that would be a very good idea at all, but what I'm saying is perhaps one wordo that goes on perhaps one or two of the magical islands could look like this, and I think that would be a really cool concept. We also have Deuce. Now, Deuce is a Dawn of Fire monster. So, Dawn of Fire monsters have been known to come to Magic Monsters quite a lot. I mean, we have the Reborn Celestials, we have the Fire Elementals, so it wouldn't be uncanny to say that perhaps Deuce, even though it's a concept for Dawn of Fire, could come to Magic Monsters. Now, Deuce is quite a well-known concept as well, so perhaps that would be a good idea to add it just because of that fact. Lots of people like Deuce. I mean, personally, I would absolutely love to have Deuce in Dawn of Fire. Its design is top notch. I love it so much, and I'm actually really surprised it didn't get added to Dawn of Fire, and I would really like it to be added to Dawn of Fire, but if we can't really have that, I know they aren't really doing Fire Elementals now, if we can't have that, then it would be cool to see it on a magical island, but I think it fits Dawn of Fire a lot more, so I would actually like to see Deuce in Dawn of Fire, but I don't think we're going to be getting Deuce anytime soon. I don't really think it's a high candidate on the roster for what could be coming to a magical island, but I think it's something good to mention nevertheless. Then we also have Mimik. Now, I talked about Mimik in my previous video about magical islands. Now, Mimik is a monster that was revealed on the extra live stream in 2018. Now, Mimik is a monster that is also well known. So again, it's well known, so it's a really good candidate for what could be coming in the future. Now, Mimik, I think, would need a really big redesign. It's got a really unique design, to be honest, and I think it would be a really good candidate for what could be on a magical island. I mean, all of the magicals are based on concepts, aren't they? So it would be a really good idea, I think, to perhaps include Mimik as a magical monster on the magical islands. I'm unsure about what element all these would have, by the way. I am just throwing them out there. So let's look at some more images. So next up, we actually have a concept for an island that was never introduced to the game. So it's got lava floating around it. That is still a concept that we are to see to this day. We've had water, but we have not had lava. So it would be a really cool concept to perhaps add that to the game, but that's besides the point. Let's have a look at the concept on the actual island. So if we zoom in here, we can see Toe Jammer as a concept to the side, and it has two heads. Now, this is radically different also to its counterpart, so I think it would be a good candidate for what could be added to a magical island. Perhaps it would be something to do with a liquid element or a time element. Personally, I feel like that is the sort of vibe that I get from that. We can also see Epic Maw over there to the right, so that's a cool little tad bit, isn't it, to pick up on. We can see the Shark Memo also on here. We can see the concept that Juggler was based off as well, and we can see two concepts for Bogot. Now, I really don't think that they will make any magicals based around these two, because I mean, they're very similar to Bogot, and I don't really think they're that fascinating either. But if we look down below, we can let's see a little cute monster as well, and I believe that Pladia would have been based on this. Now, you can see here the kind of transformation. If Pladia was based on that, the monsters can undergo when they go to magical islands. So again, that sort of thing where, hey, the monsters can actually be really different, can't they, if you think about it? Anyway, then next up, we have a concept for Noggin. Now, well, not obviously looking at the one to the left, because that's too similar, but if we look to the right, there's one that looks like a golem. Now, Noggin already looks like a bit of a golem. I like the golem idea, and I think that perhaps they could explore that a bit more. Now, obviously, it would need a big change, but all of the magicals go through a big change. I mean, Flute Fly even changed a lot, and they're probably the one that have changed the least. You can tell how much, really, the magicals do change in their final design from the concept art that they are based off. And then if we go up here, we can also see some concepts for monsters that were just never used. I mean, these aren't even concepts for monsters that we have in game. Don't get me wrong, they are for monsters in game, but they're not specifically for an individual monster. They look different to any kind of monster we've got. So these would be good candidates too. I especially like the one in the middle, and I really would be interested to see if they could do anything with that. Now, I believe the one in the middle is a concept for Bellow Fish, and I believe the one to the left is too, but the right one does not look like a Bellow Fish like one to me. Actually, it does, never mind, it is Bellow Fish. Oh dear. Alright, so these are for Bellow Fish. Never mind, I got it wrong. Okay, but no, I think the one in the middle could look really cool on a magical island, and the other two are cool too. I don't think I'd be that interested in them. I'm more interested in the one in the middle. That one looks like it could be a really cool monster if they did it up a bit, had its little quiff over it. I think that would be cool. Expand on its features a bit more. I think it could make out to be a really good monster, that. I mean, obviously get rid of the little horns under its chin there, because it's not Bellow Fish anymore, but it could end up really cool if they did something with that. And then last but not least, we have a Bogot design. Now, it's kind of a combination between Bogot and Maw here. It looks really weird if you look at it, but it could be a cool concept that they could develop. Now, don't get me wrong, I am not saying just add that to the game. It looks a bit like an abomination, to be honest. No offense to the artist that created it. I'm sure they've created absolutely marvelous pieces, but seeing this when we know Maw and know Bogot, it's a bit of a mutation, and it's like, what? My brain's like, whoa. I'm not a fan of this. Now that we've explained that, I do think that perhaps this could be a good candidate for what something could be based off. Now, this would need an absolute expansion on. Like, this is probably the one that would need the most work on. It's not something that they can just take away and upside this and there, so this would need a serious look at an overhaul. So I don't know, right? But something to me, when I look at this, right, I know it's like Maw and Bogot, so it's unlikely to be added, but when I look at it, it just makes me feel like they're gonna base something off it, even if it's not like obvious. I just feel like maybe like the legs or something, because we've not had like a long leg one that looks like that in game, so that would be cool to look at. Anyway, guys, that is all I wanted to go over today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this with me looking over what magicals could potentially look like in concept art, because of course, as we have gone over, magicals are inspired by concept art sometimes, as seen with the likes of Juggler and Flute Fly. Anyway, guys, I will see you later. Make sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed this. I will see you later, guys. Bye.